Hello entertainers, makeup artists, and whoever the hell else is watching this tutorial. My name is Tiger Sky, and I am an entertainer here in the beautiful windy city of Chicago, Illinois. Thank you. I have been an entertainer for 16 years and I'm only 32 years old. Please don't hate. I am starting this because I'm hoping that this is going to be the first of many tutorials. I'm all about giving back because I was told at a young age that you can't keep what you've been given unless you give it away. So, this is going to be the first of many, like I said, and I'm going to start off with how to really cover your eyebrows. If you're anything like me as an entertainer, I am a dancing queen, and I really hate it when I'm in the middle of a show and my makeup starts to peel off. So I'm going to hopefully show you some things that you haven't seen before. I know there's a lot of tutorials out there on how to cover eyebrows. If you've seen these products before, great. If you haven't, I hope that you get something out of it. So before I do that, I'm going to show you the products and then we'll get started. So I'm sure that you all have seen this before. It is the classic Elmer's washable glue stick. It's water soluble, and it is the, not the white, but the purple one. The purple one is the best. I don't know why. I don't really care. It's just the best. It applies the best, and it's just the best, and that's all that you need to know. So that's first, and then also to go along with that is you need like a mascara wand brush, and that's to kind of brush the glue through. Next, you may have not seen this before, but this is actually the Kryolan Scar and Effects Wax. Water hates wax and sweat hates wax. So this is going to be really useful if you're a sweater or if you're a dancer like me, because it's going to repel any moisture, all right? And then along with that is going to be a spatula, or if you're too cheap to get a spatula, you can just use a butter knife from your kitchen drawer, okay? Next is going to be the Kryolan Flexible Sealer. Now, those of you who may have not seen this before, this is a product that is only available at Kryolan. Also, I'll just back up a little bit. The special effects, I'm sorry, the Kryolan Scar and Effects Wax and the Kryolan Flexible Sealer are only available at Kryolan. If you don't have a costume shop in your town or city that sells Kryolan, you can always go to kryolan.com, and I hope that they're watching this tutorial because I'm going to reference Kryolan a lot, and hopefully they'll give me some money. So, back to the sealer. The sealer is going to go over the wax, and that's going to be the final layer that's going to seal down the glue and the wax and kind of create that second skin. Okay? Next thing that we're going to need is, you don't have to use this, but this is the Ben Nye. Everybody should know Ben Nye because it's been around for a long time. And I don't think that they have a website, but you can probably get it online somewhere. But this is the Ben Nye RW, I don't know what the hell that means, but the RW Rainbow Wheel. And the reason why I'm going to be using it, because I'm going to be using the orange, and I'll explain that a little bit later. And then to apply it, you'll need a concealer brush. Okay. And then, so after that, you're going to need any kind of translucent powder. This is obviously very big, you know, just because I like to buy things in bulk. I'm a big girl, so I need big things. But this is just any kind of translucent powder, a powder puff, and a powder brush to go with it. And guess what I have here? Kryolan. Imagine that. I'm sure by now a lot of you have seen the Kryolan TV paint sticks. They have, in my eyes, officially replaced the Max Factor paint sticks, which were discontinued 5 years ago, and it's really the only thing around that is the best to cover beards and as a concealer. So let's get started. Alright you guys, so I'm gonna get started. I've already cleansed and moisturized my face, but just keep in mind, I've only moisturized up to the bottom of my eyes. Whenever you want something to stick or to stay, the surface that you're applying it on needs to be dry or it needs to be dehydrated. So I'm actually going to take it a step further, and I've swatched a little bit of an alcohol-based toner on the sponge, and I'm just going to go over my eyebrows with it because I want that area nice and dry. Woo! It's got a little kick to it. Okay. So now that my eyebrows are nice and dehydrated, I'm going to start with the application of the glue stick. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the first layer. I'm not scraping it off with a knife or with a spatula. Just putting it on. And my eyebrows are not overly coarse. If your eyebrows are overly coarse, you're really going to want to comb them. I typically don't, but I'm just going to show you this anyway. So when you comb them, you want to comb them up and over. And what this is going to do is it's going to flatten out the surface. Because once you start putting a lot of layers of glue on, and especially with the wax, it's going to start to look kind of lumpy. It looked like you tried too hard. Because we want it to look natural. So that's one side. Combing it up. Up and over, flattening out that surface. And now I'm going to dry that layer. Okay. So what you're going to want to do to check to see if it's dry is to slightly run your finger over it. And if it still feels tacky, it's not dry, and then you got to wait a little bit longer. But this seems to be pretty dry, so I'm going to go ahead with the second layer. When you see it start to get purple like that, you're doing it right. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply my third layer. You'll probably notice that I'm not putting on powder in between each layer. You can if you want to. I don't find it necessary because I'm going to be using the wax. And because my eyebrows are not that coarse. So this is the third layer. Moving on, I have successfully applied all 3 layers of the glue. If you've got really coarse hair, I'm sorry, just go ahead and apply a 4th layer if you need to, just to kind of build it up a little bit. I don't like to build up too much product because, like I said, I don't really like it to look real thick and lumpy. Because don't forget, you're going to have to apply, foundation over it, and then eyeshadows. You want it to look nice and smooth. That is the goal. That is what you want. and that is how it should look. Okay, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and apply the Scar and Effects Wax. So, like I was saying earlier, wax hates moisture. So the theory is if you sweat, and or you know if you're dancing or if you get hot and you sweat a lot, the theory is that with the wax, the makeup is not going to peel off, and you're not going to get those little brown spots that is your eyebrow basically coming through the makeup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spatula. If you don't have a makeup spatula, a butter knife will do just fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape the top of the wax. It's a special makeup wax. It's not like a hair wax. So don't be using your pomade that you put in your hair because it's not going to work. Sorry about it. Scrape it till I get like a nice little bead, just like that. I'm going to start at the inner corner of my eyebrow and work out this way in the same directions that my hair grows. Just like that. And then we're going to spread it like we're icing a cake. You don't want to go whoosh. You don't want to apply it in one swoop. You want to do, just like, you know, if you were icing a cake, you're going to do it almost kind of like a feathering effect. And the other thing that the wax is going to do, you guys, is that it's also going to kind of fill in the little grooves and the little spaces in between your hairs so that it does make the area a little bit more smooth. So I think that looks pretty good. Scraping it just like that, just the surface, till you get a nice little bead. We're going to do the other side. Now I will tell you that the wax is kind of hard to remove because if it hates water or if it hates moisture, then it's not really going to like the soap and water when you take off your makeup. So you kind of have to work with it a little bit. Sometimes the spirit gun remover helps to remove it, or you can just get like a clean mascara wand and kind of scrape it off. That kind of helps too. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Actually, I think it looks great. So the next step is to take your Kryolan Flexible Sealer. And by the way, you know, if none of you have ever used Kryolan before, yes, it is a stage makeup brand, but don't let that fool you. It's really not that expensive. I think the wax was $7 and the sealant is $7.50. You know, and if you have to order it, you know, I'm sure they probably have like some, you know, shipping and handling special, but if they don't, oh well, because you need it, right? Okay. So I'm just going to take a little bit, kind of looks like nail polish. Wipe the tip of the brush. You don't have to wait for the wax to dry because it's already, you know, it's wax, so it doesn't have to dry. Enough on the tip, and then just go over it like you're polishing a nail. Starting at the inner corner, only going over the hairs. This is a great, great sealer. It really gets that shit down. Yeah. That'll fuck them up. That looks crazy, right? Okay, good. I'm just going to apply one more coat of sealer before we move on. Don't apply too much sealer because it'll kind of ball up on you and kind of get lumpy. That feels good. Okay, so that's feeling really good. As you can see, like if you can see, it's kind of shiny, but it's dry, and that's what you want. You want it to look like a top coat that you put on your nails when it's dry. So we're gonna move on. So now I'm gonna take the Ben Nye, the color wheel, rainbow color wheel, and I'm only gonna use the orange color. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using orange and you haven't heard this before, if you've ever wondered why the natural fibers of your hair are like, you know, they're brown or they're dark, it's because they have a lot of blue in them. And in theory, orange counteracts blue. So they cancel each other out. So the reason why we want to put a base on, or the concealer, is because it's a little bit heavier and it's going to cover the hairs and it's going to cancel the blue so it doesn't shine through when the lights hit you on the stage. Got it? Okay, good. So I'm going to use my concealer brush because that's just the best way to put it on. Starting again right at the inner corner of the eyebrow. Just painting it right on. If you feel like an Oompa Loompa, that means that you're doing it right. Do the other side. Ain't gonna be perfect. You just gotta keep doing it. Okay. Once you feel like you have enough of the orange on, we're going to go ahead and set it with the translucent powder. Now, when you take the powder on the powder puff, when you scoop it out and you put it on the puff, powder puff, you want to have a lot. And I mean like a lot. If you can see the powder puff underneath the powder, you haven't used too much. Because when you put it on, if you've taken off some of the product, like if you see some of the orange on the powder, on the sponge or the powder puff or whatever, when you pull it off, that means that you didn't have enough powder. So you want to have enough powder, lightly pat it on, like so. No orange. Do the other side. Oh my god, it looks so pretty. Okay. Then you're going to take your powder brush and we're going to beat it off the face. Beat it, 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 beat it. Just like that. Then take your finger and lightly go over it just to see if you have applied enough powder. If any orange comes off on your finger, that means that you haven't applied enough. This side could use a little bit more. Beat it off. Okay. Next step, we're going to take our Krylon TV paint stick. Make sure you take off the cap. And then just go right over it. Applying in the same direction that you applied all the products before. That looks real crazy, right? Okay, good. So since we're going to stop with the eyebrows today, I'm just going to blend in with my finger just a little bit. And then we're going to set it. Okay. So if I was doing all my makeup for real, I keep going, but I'm just going to set this. So the same concept, you want enough powder on your powder puff so you can't see the puff, and then go right over it. Set everything. Boom. Beat it off, beat it off, beat it off. Mm-hmm. Ow! Ooh. So I think that my eyebrows are pretty covered. I hope that you got something out of this, and don't forget that it takes time to get it right. Do it again, and then you do it again, and then you're going to do it again. If you do it like 10 times and you haven't gotten it down at all, you might want to reconsider what you're doing and maybe choose a different career. So, but this concludes how to cover your eyebrows, how to really cover your eyebrows. And the next step, the next tutorial is going to be on contouring. So I hope you liked it, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.
That was good.
Okay.